But in the cities, Crystal, for example, I'm picking on Crystal because I live there, is paying $7,800 to this organization and $15,000 to the League of Minnesota Cities and $4,125 to guess who? The Bottineau Boulevard Partnership.
Oh,
my favorite.
The most favorite subject.
The killer trains.
This is the killer everything.
Yeah.
And you know, it was formed in 2000 to, in my opinion, force light rail in this area. Now, that's not what they'll tell you on their website, but that really is their goal. Their goal is to put in light rail and then develop around the light rail, the transit.
Right. Put low-income housing
And
there so you can
housing.
high density, so they can concentrate the people where they can be controlled.
Right, and it says right on their website, BottineauPartnership.org, that they want to have easy walking distance within a half a mile for mixed uses of housing, jobs, shops, restaurant, and entertainment. TOD creates walkable, sustainable communities. We keep seeing the same words again.
Sustainable.
Yeah, for people of all ages.
I am so tired of hearing sustainable, sustainability. That word ought to be taken out of the vocabulary.
But what really gets me is that we elect people to represent us, and then they go and serve on these third-party boards, in this case, to make sure that these changes happen. And now, if most of us don't want those changes, how do you reconcile that conflict of interest? Because you're going to be button heads. They're there to make this happen. You don't want it to happen. Well, too bad.
Right, and here's how it works. They go to their Bottineau meetings. Then the cities go to their work sessions where they all talk it, and they talk it among their elitist group of friends. Then they'll all agree on something. Then the public can comment on something.
Right.
So they'll do all the work. Then they come, they pretend to listen, but their minds are already made up. And in the Bottineau Partnership, it's even worse than some of these other groups because you have businesses involved in this. You have got other third party, I mean, the Metro Mayors Association is part of it. Target is part of it. Wells Fargo is part of it. The North Memorial Hospital is part of it. The North Hennepin Community College, along with Robbinsdale, Crystal, Brooklyn Park, Osseo,
Hennepin County,
the Met Council. This is a match made in hell. I mean, when business and government get together, this is how we end up with a tax code that's 900 million pages. It's how we end up with bailouts. It's how we end up with General Electric paying more in taxes than they do while they ship jobs off to India. That's how we end up with stuff like this.
Yep, and the thing is, you go look at the website, you can't find anything about it because they haven't updated their website since, what, 2009 or 10?
Well, probably because they don't have enough money, and they need more money from the cities to do that.
You have to go to bottransit.org to get a lot of that information. Even their information is bad. A lot of broken links, a lot of cryptic maps that really don't tell you anything.
Taken down a few things.
They've taken down a few things after we've presented them here.
Oh, we're going to take credit for it too.
Yeah. I came in here once and brought in all these road closures, and they were bringing things down to one lane.
Penn
and some
Avenue
streets,
is
Penn
the whole
Avenue,
thing.
Lyndale, and it's nowhere to be found anymore. I cannot find it. They brought it down.
And I think another thing is when we talk about transit-oriented development and what that might look like. Imagine you having, you probably can't see this, but there's a they're envisioning a park and ride. This is how it might look. Then you put businesses around it. Mm-hmm. Then you'd put homes on top of businesses. This is the art. This is the vision. It's called there's four phases of TOD, and that's what it might look like. Now, do you want to live above a candy store or a grocery store? Do you want to have? Do you want your city to look like this?
Well, I wouldn't mind living above a candy store, but that's a personal problem.
Okay, I couldn't think of anything.
So,
post office. Okay, I mean anything. Again, it's the whole art of cramming anything close within a half a mile and forcing you to use, because we all know public transit doesn't pay for itself. If it did, we'd never have transit-oriented development. And to explain TOD even more succinctly, you have the 5 boroughs of New York, New York decided to have subways connect them all. They didn't build the subways first. That's what TOD would be. Let's just build subways here, and then the 5 boroughs will just, if you build it, they will come. But I've been to work, I was at a work session not too long ago in Crystal, and all they talked about was, oh, these cities want to get their hands on this property and force this business out and that business out and put up what they want, and they're going to use public transit as the pretext.
Yep, and really, you could take a bus and get just about anywhere now. I mean, you have to maybe make some stops, right, from here to downtown, and then maybe you can get out to Eden Prairie or something like that. It's not going to be any different once the light rail runs. It's still going to all go downtown, and then you can get to wherever you're going to go. What's the difference? It's just that it costs a whole lot more, and we can never pay for it with ridership.
No, never even close. In fact, this right here is a map, and I don't know how well you can see this, of what transit. Now, this is at that Bottineau Transit Way website. They have what's called a scoping booklet, and they're in what's called the scoping phase of this. But they're proposing, and they have several different routes possibility. They're proposing bus stop or light rail stops. I mean, at 610, at 93rd, at 85th, at Brooklyn Boulevard, at 63rd, at Bass Lake Road, at 42nd in Robbinsdale, then down at Golden Valley Road. I mean, each stop adds 3 to 4 minutes on time. If I can't get from Brooklyn Park to Minneapolis, it's going to take longer on this light rail than it's going to take driving.
It's going to be about the same as taking a regular city bus, not an express bus, but a regular city bus to get from here to downtown. Maybe a little shorter, a little straighter shot, but not much. And there's enough express buses that run around here that I don't see who would take it and sit through those stops.
So are the buses going to go away if we have the light rail? I mean,
No.
the buses, you know, they're not,
Of course not. We've got that.
Well, somebody has to get the people from where they live to the light rail.
And that's another thing that has been talked about is having the park and ride, having the walk up, and have what's called the kiss and ride. Okay, the kiss and ride is where you can drop someone off, but you can't park. So they call that a kiss and ride. Walk up station is where only people who walk really can access it. There's no place to drop people off. There's no place to park. And then a park and ride is where you can park and then take the. So there's even 3 different kinds of stations. You know,
Yeah.
But again, it's being pushed by a third-party group that all these cities are a member of. It's being pushed by local businesses. It's being pushed by other, by the college, the hospital. All these things, all these people are getting together, and they're all, again, just like the League of Minnesota Cities, and we haven't touched on the Mayor's Association, but they're all taking your money and spending that, and yet there's no link between you and that group.